Well, it's that time again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the interview with Craig-Veltri.
Thank you, Megan Pennington, and welcome to the interview. Our guest is the writer or co-writer of over 1,500 songs, claiming to have written over 100 songs a year. It would be impossible to say I've heard them all. Even if my favorite artists have a few in the vault that will never be heard, and while I've enjoyed many from this artist in particular, Take Me Back to Tennessee is a song that describes my mind lately and will be played at the end of this episode. Recording live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and calling in from Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA. Here he is, David Easterling. David, welcome to the interview.
Hey, Craig. It's an honor to be here today.
Well, thank you so much. I notice your career, at least as far as your album output goes, to back to 1997 when you were releasing records. Does it go further back than that? How long you've been writing, that is to say?
Well, I guess I got my first guitar when I was 13, and a month later, I wrote my first song.
Usually how it works.
Yeah, so it goes back over 50 years
now. What would you say? Do you remember the first song that you wrote?
I remember the title of it. It was called Just for Fun.
That's a good title.
Yeah. It had kind of a catchy verse to it. But I don't remember the lyrics. I know that there's a printout of it in my office in a file cabinet under the J's. So I have seen it. I know that it's there, but it's been many years since I looked at it.
So having a catalog that prolific, is that how you keep track of it? You actually have a physical filing cabinet with actual letters, and you just pull something out and tweak it at this point?
Well, until we started using computers, I mean, song lyrics got typed out. So a lot of really old ones are in a file cabinet. But for the last, I don't know what, 25 years, something like that, I have a Word file and it's backed up. And then when I started co-writing so much around the time of COVID, like the last 5.5 years, then hundreds of songs, probably about 800 songs since COVID, I've written or co-written. And we use Google Docs a lot so that my co-writers, wherever they are around the world, we can write on the same document in real time at the same time.
So how does that look as far as like if we're going to talk applications on the computer now, your calendar, how does that look on your calendar? How many times a week are you writing, that is to say?
Well, a couple of days ago, I just got back from a month-long tour from Nashville down to New Orleans and back. And on that tour, I played a dozen gigs, but I also wrote with a bunch of different songwriters all along that route. And we completed we completed 19 songs, 19 finished songs in that month. Just on that tour.
That's an album's worth of songs. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I was really busy. I was really tired. I slept a lot. My last gig was at the Commodore in Nashville on Friday night, and I was there with 3 of my songwriters. C4 that you met,
who I've collaborated with. Yep.
Right. You've written with C4. She was on stage with me, and Pete Erlinson, who I've written several songs with, and Roger Dean, who I've written several songs with. In fact, his new album that just came out last month, I have a couple of co-writes with him on that album. So that was an honor as well, too. So my friends, they knew it was the end of that tour, so they played a bunch of songs that we'd written together that night at the Commodore too. And it is on Facebook Live. Folks can look it up under, what is it, Nashville Songwriter Showcase. Nashville Songwriter Showcase.
Yeah, I believe it's under the name of the hosts that do host it, and I'm blanking on it at the moment. But I'll definitely put a link to
Well,
that in the
Jimmy
description.
and Annalisa, but
Jimmy and
I
Annalisa,
think
I see.
that, yeah, I think the link is Nashville Songwriter Showcase.
Now that is not to say that you're not writing stuff on your lonesome these days, or is that the case? Are you doing exclusively co-writes at this point?
Well, it's not exclusively co-writes, but because I write with so many people, most of my writing these days are co-writes, and I write with my wife also. Laurie is she's a fantastic lyricist, and a couple of years ago she picked up a mandolin, and then a year later a guitar, and has been playing a lot of music, and she's writing some solo songs now too. Which is great. But about 70% of my co-writes, Laurie is involved in that, whether it's just her and myself, or whether it's us and another co-writer, either in Nashville someplace or somewhere else around the world. I've written with people in 10 different countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you find that do you have a preference at this point? Do you prefer writing on your own, or do you prefer the co-write at this point?
I don't know that I really have a preference. I just love writing songs. But I will tell you that co-writing with people is very much a social time for me. I mean, it's a time to get to visit with folks. I learn a lot about people as we're writing songs, and so I just love that, and I love the idea of co-writing because two people can work on a song, can write a song that neither individual person would have written by themselves. And sometimes the magic happens, the muse speaks, and we listen, the spirit moves upon the words, the lyrics, and we listen, and sometimes those co-writes just rise to a different level.
Yeah.
And those songs can be very, very special.
We're here with David Easterling on the Craig-Veltri interview, proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network. For more on Scarfire Media, visit our website, scarfireradio.net. Visit the Flame, check out the Indie Musicians Catalog, and listen to all the great podcasts here on the Scarfire Media Podcast Network, the Mothership, Fire Pit, the Cool Brother Podcast, and of course, thank you for listening to the Craig-Veltri interview. As far as talking about the community aspect of it, you have, according to your website, you are also a life coach as well. Do you find that kind of interaction is also kind of helpful in your practice in life coaching?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't have so many clients these days. I spent 10 years as a spiritual advisor or a life coach at Cornerstone of Recovery, an alcohol and addiction recovery center. And there were times when we would have as many as 200 patients.
Oh my!
It was a very, very large facility and great facility.
As an aside, I'm 3 years sober myself. I think about the rehab that I was in, 200. That would have been like a zoo. So bless you for your work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to do a lot of small groups, spiritual groups, therapy groups, creative therapy groups, and I got to do a lot of music. And in fact, for 5.5 years of that time, we had an event, a monthly event called The Gathering, and I live in the Knoxville
I'm only
area.
smiling because I'm thinking of a completely different kind of gathering involving juggalos. But continue.
Yeah, it is a different kind of gathering, and there's not as much makeup or anything like that as well.
I don't know. You get some of those Southern Baptist women on, you don't know, but I digress.
Right.
You
And
were
the hair,
saying,
right?
sorry.
And the hair. Uh, well, once a month for about 5.5 years, we had an event called The Gathering, and I invited the cream of the crop, some of the best musicians in the Knoxville, Tennessee area to be a part of that event. And we did a lot of music. We used a lot of mainstream music. And I wrote a lot of songs over that time. In fact, over that 10 years, I wrote a lot of recovery songs and actually have a recovery CD called My Soul to Keep. Is this flipped backwards?
No, it's coming into the audience perfectly well. So my soul to
Oh,
keep,
okay.
as in I
All right.
pray the Lord my soul to keep. So is
Right. The title song has a little bit of that toward the end of it. But each of the songs on that album connect with one of the 12 steps in some way.
Mhm.
And I used a lot of those songs at the gathering and in a lot of the groups. So they were all road tested with folks in recovery. And I've been in recovery many years myself as well.
How long?
17.
Congratulations.
17 years. Uh, so So when it comes to life coaching or working as a chaplain or a spiritual advisor, my music is pretty integral in that because I use that music, songs I've written to to help folks to bring out feelings and emotions and as discussion starters and a lot of those kinds of things too. So that might be kind of a long-winded, roundabout way at getting at partly answering
If anything, it
the
sounds
question
like
that you posed earlier. Yeah.
it sounds like microdosing in your life coaching. Would that be a fair assessment of what you just
Well,
said?
my wife calls me her Renaissance man, and so
Renaissance man.
I I suppose I can't do one thing at a time. That all of my life experiences are all kind of rolled into everything that I do. Whether I'm writing stories or writing books or doing music or doing albums or playing live. And the last 2.5 years, I've toured so much. This year, there was a tour to Texas. Last year, there was a tour toward Wisconsin. There was a Florida tour. There was my annual month-long Nashville to New Orleans tour. This was actually the third annual one of that.
Well, you talk about your books and just your overall output over the years. You have one book about the book of Genesis, in fact, in the
Yeah.
Bible, and you have another book about called Community Living Faithfully with Others, which I remember the synopsis describing how to live in just like that, how to live live with your faith. So you dealt with a lot of stuff on the religious and the spiritual, and yet a lot of the music that you come out with lately is a lot more, shall we say, secular. Is that a reflection of you maybe not living deeply in your faith, but maybe more that you're just kind of opening the world up a little bit more, or am I just overthinking it?
I don't know if you're overthinking or not, but my response is that there's plenty of folks doing church music. There's plenty of folks who are only doing music in churches. And there was a time in my life that I was one of those folks. But I began to realize, especially that 10 years that I spent, working with folks who are struggling with their recovery, that there was a need for music in the everyday world, the everyday places where people go, whether it's bars or whether it's restaurants or listening rooms, which obviously is my favorite. There should be a way to, I guess, serve people, serve the spirit of folks in our everyday world, and not just hide behind the walls in churches. And 2.5 years ago, I began to get some calls from songwriter friends of mine in Nashville asking me if I would come and play in their songwriter round. So, I drove over. I live in Oak Ridge, about 2.5 hours away. In fact, I'm actually in Oak Ridge today.
Oh, okay.
And I had no intention of ever going to Nashville to play. There's a lot of musicians in Nashville. Yeah, there's a lot of songwriters in Nashville. A lot of folks that I consider much better than I am in so many ways, in all ways. And I never had any intention of ever being one of those Nashville songwriter guys. But I started getting those calls, and I thought, well, if I'm going to drive over there, maybe I should go over and stay for 2 or 3, 4 days at a time and play a bunch of places. And so with a couple of my friends, I started setting that up. And that's kind of the history. I would play at a different place every night and write during the day, and sometimes play someplace during the day too. But I would schedule these things in advance to where I was co-writing with somebody pretty much every day, and sometimes a couple of times a day too. And I stayed with friends while I was over there. So I wasn't, I didn't have the expense of hotels and stuff like that. And in fact, that's the way I tour too. I set up tours so that I stay with my co-writers and friends all along the road. In fact, this last tour down to New Orleans, I only stayed in a hotel one night on that whole tour. So that's the only way I can afford to tour. And that's the way it is for a lot of folks. You tour a lot.
Yeah.
And you know how expensive if you have to stay in hotels a lot. That just makes touring, it throws it out of our economical comfort zone.
You're preach to the choir. Saving Up Dreams, my latest single. That's a true story. When I was staying out in Nashville, I was sleeping in my car for about the first month or so that I was out there this past year.
By the way, great song. I really enjoy that song and the video too. Yeah.
Thank you. But the fortunate thing about it is that I between the cities that I do perform in, I know where the Airbnbs are the cheapest in the general area, and between at least 3 cities, I have relatives that I can stay with still. And by the way, to our viewing audience, we are joined now by a beautiful and now suddenly shy.
I know. Well, this is her favorite thing. She loves to bury her head in my chest and.
What's her name?
This is. Hey, Goldilocks, you wanna face? This is Goldilocks. This is Goldilocks, and Goldilocks helped. She's inspired many songs. Aww. I have 600-700 videos on Facebook. Videos of when about half of the time when we write a song, we'll just video the work tape and maybe make it a little thematic in some way and throw that video up on Facebook. So Goldilocks is in a lot of those videos in one way or another. And our other cat, Lily, she is in a lot of those videos too.
Trust me, it wouldn't be the first time a cat has made its way onto the Craig-Veltri interview. Proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network, scarfireradio.net. I do want to know just about the song in question. Take Me Back to Tennessee. Are you a Tennessee native? Were you missing home that day just at the moment, or is this just a proud declaration of you being a volunteer?
Well, I actually grew up in Kentucky.
Okay.
But I spent most of after traveling and living in several states in the Southeast, including Georgia, the Atlanta area, and Florida, the St. Pete area. And my wife grew up
My family has had a home in Tampa for many, many years.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Very familiar with that area. We lived down there for a while, and my wife grew up in Pompano Beach on the other coast of Florida.
I see.
We lived in a lot of different places, but we've been in Tennessee for how long? For 35 years now. So I mean, and this part of East Tennessee too. So, are you back? Oh, are you back? She,
Hello, Goldilocks.
She loves crashing my
What is
Zoom calls.
what is your opinion on pentatonic scales? Okay.
I'm not sure that Goldilocks.
Are you going to treat us to a rendition of Memory? Oh, it's what a sweetheart. But you were saying,
well, she loves the Meow Mix theme. But this one's the quiet one. Lily is the one that. Why don't you go play? Lily is the one that that sings a lot. She's a very vocal cat. Lily is, but Lily's outside right now, so she's not gonna. She's not.
Both of them are outdoor cats, I gather.
They are both indoor outdoor cats, and they like their own space. Goldie would love for Lily to be her best friend, but Lily doesn't want that. Lily was around here before, and but they're both cuddly, and that's one of the great things about cats. They know their people.
or at the very least, they're very measuring of people. I mean, George Carlin said it best.
Yeah.
Look at a cat; they look like they're testing out new eyes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're always making sure that they're safe, but our cats are always making sure that we're safe too.
Well, it's clear that you've found security in your music, and you were talking a little bit about taking you back to Tennessee and where you had lived prior. So, talk to me about the.
So here's this song.
Writing.
This song was. A couple of years ago was the first time that I did that month-long tour from Nashville to New Orleans, back to the mountains of East Tennessee, and ended up in Nashville at the end of that. And actually, that one was 5 weeks. And as soon as I got back, my wife Lori and I, we were. As soon as I got back, I was playing in Mont Eagle, Tennessee, which is up on top of a mountain. At Jim Oliver's Smokehouse. I'll give them a shout out. And I was writing that afternoon with a couple of my friends there, Paul Cicero and Randy, and we wrote like a really stupid song, double wide chair in a single wide trailer. So we were writing about a guy who loved his dog more than his wife, which sometimes is the case.
Some marriages that happens. Trust me.
Yeah. I not mine, and I don't know why. But Lori and I had been talking about how homesick I got on this tour. Because I toured for 12 years, many years ago. A lot of the Christian music festivals. I was a music artist with World Vision, the child sponsorship ministry, and worked with youth groups to raise money through the 30-hour famine, and helped to develop a Christian collectible trading card game, and took to all those festivals. And that game was called Redemption, and it's still going on. And in fact, that was another one of my books, the Redemption Player's Guide. I got C.S. Lewis's stepson, Doug Gresham, to write the foreword for that book too.
Wow!
So that was really cool, and hearing Doug talk about a lot of stories growing up with C.S. Lewis and his mom Joy.
Oh, for sure. The Lion and the Witch, the Wardrobe series
Yeah, yeah.
is really covered in Christian allegory, so that makes perfect
Right,
sense.
right. All of those books, and the first couple of movies too in that series.
Oh yeah.
So I remember doing a 4 week tour back when I was doing all that touring, and I was standing in an elevator, and I reached out to push the button of the floor I was staying in, and I thought, no, wait a minute, that was last night. And then I reached out and, no, wait a minute, that was the night before. What floor am I on tonight? And this was the fourth
Wow.
week, and I told myself, I'm never ever gonna be gone for 4 weeks again. Flash forward 20 years, 25 years later, I did one of those really long tours because I had a musician friend down in New Orleans who went on tour and said, why don't you come down and stay in my house? So I got to do that, and I set up a tour and stayed down there. I was down there for, I think, 3.5 weeks of that 5 week tour. Well, I got pretty homesick. I really did. So my wife Laura and I, we wrote about that. We wrote a song about that as soon as I got back. And in fact, her sister had flown down from Wisconsin for that concert for that night. It was the first time that she'd ever really seen me play live. And we recorded this work tape, and a couple of months later, it was voted by the Cumberland Mountain Songwriters Guild Song of the Year in its category.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and so that was really cool. And then I always joked about never having a number one song. And then a song that I wrote with one of my co-writers in London, England, about a coal miner. And the song was called Buried Before My Time. It hit number one on Reverb Nation for about 3 weeks. And then, kind of out of the blue, last year, one of my other co-writers, Alicia Harvey, I had 4 songs on her album, and Lori wrote on 3 of them also with us. But there was one called Losing that Alicia and I wrote, and that's the lead song on our album. And we ended up at the Grand Ole Opry last year winning the Josie Music Award for Country Song of the Year for female artists. And we both got trophies for that. So that was really nice because I don't get a lot of awards. I just don't enter these things.
Me neither.
So we actually won for Losing, a song called Losing. Right, right.
I think that's textbook irony at this point.
I know.
You bring up your wife quite a bit as a
Yeah,
songwriting
yeah.
partner. I'll save I usually don't delve into the salacious questions, so I'll just phrase it like this. Is that how you two met, and is that often a way you guys is that your main form of communication, really? Is that how you spend
Oh,
time?
do we communicate through song?
Basically.
Yeah, we wake up in the morning and we're just singing to each other all day long.
I didn't mean it like that, but as far as writing, because I know you hash some things out sometimes.
Yeah. I mean that's funny, Craig. We do love writing songs. I mean, I mentioned co-wrote 19 songs on this last tour, and I got home really, really late from Nashville. I got home, it was about 1 a.m. And the next day, Lori and I did write another song. So we do write a lot. In fact, I think I'm at 77 for this year so far. 77, 78, something like that. So
How's that gonna come together for you this time this year? Are you planning on putting out a full record this year or next year?
I have a live album recorded at the Listening Room over two nights. And my friend Dan Razza from England was on tour with me too for one of those nights, and so he plays backup guitar. But that's a live album, and it's ready to go. It's ready to go. You know, even when you do a live album, you still got to go into the studio and, you know, do some cuts. You got to cut some of that extra dialogue out and some of that kind of thing. So that'll be the next album, and that will be coming out this year. So the live album, and then I have a couple more albums in the studio that are mostly finished. And as soon as we finish either one of those will be coming out too.
Well, we have a nice way of congratulations on all of that. We have a nice way of closing here on the Craig-Veltri interview called the No Kidding Questionnaire. A couple of rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to your mind, David, whenever you're ready, and away to go. Childhood celebrity crush.
Wait, say it again.
Childhood celebrity crush.
My childhood celebrity crush. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I'm a science fiction fan, so maybe I'll say Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Okay. Linda Carter in general, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, back in those years. Yeah. I'll go with that. That'll be my answer.
Okay. What was your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject in school, I was science, because my science teacher was formerly one of the computer guys that worked at NASA on the Mercury and early Apollo program. And wow, he was fantastic.
What did you obviously went more into the spiritual realm in your life and career, but what's one thing that you took from that class, and was it just the wonderment, the way he taught? What was it that stuck with you so about his teaching?
I think that was part of it. Part of it was probably the way he communicated, how exciting it was for him, and how there was so many things to find out and so many big questions. So that my first major in college was actually astrophysics. But calculus was not kind to me, and so I ended up, I have a philosophy degree, and then I also have a master's of divinity degree, and spent several years as a pastor as well.
Everybody kind of hits that math wall, some sooner than others, I've heard.
Yeah.
What occupation other than your own would you like to attempt?
Did you say attempt?
Yeah.
What occupation other than doing music?
Doing music, doing anything that you've done?
I don't think there's anything else. Which, you know, at my age, I guess that's pretty good to feel like, well, you know, I've worked with folks when it comes to recovery. I've worked with folks on spiritual issues, and I've gotten to do music, and I've gotten to blend them all together, and I've gotten to invite a lot of people to sponsor children around the world, the poorest of the poor. I feel like I've done the things that I wanted to do, and I've done the things that I needed to do and have been called to do.
I'll accept that. On the other side, because you're so positive, this might be difficult, but I don't care how many bags of money have been handed to you. David Easterling, what job would you never, under no circumstances, want to attempt? And it can be something you've done before.
What would I not want to do? I think I would never want to be a politician.
That is a very popular one. Even if you win, you can't win. So.
Well, yeah, and you know, if you really care about people and you really want to help people, it seems like those are the folks that never get elected.
Yeah.
So
it's like it's like the really talented doctors and the really talented lawyers. They're the ones that tend to do the unscrupulous. It's just the unfortunate nature of doing things for money, I guess. But another topic for another time. Since you have been on the road recently, perhaps this is a little bit more in the front of your mind. What is your go-to food on a road trip?
My go-to food on a road trip. Well, I have a few actually. Because a Pringles can fits in the cup holder,
Ah, yes, it does.
I'm going to go with Pringles. And
Do you have a favorite flavor, original, or one of the
I
others?
like the original ones for some reason. So that's the salty stuff. Um, there's a really chewy pecan caramel protein bar that I really like, and that's the sweet. And I usually have a bag of popcorn, microwave popcorn that I've popped, that I have sitting over here too. Because when you're traveling really late at night, and I know it's not the healthiest thing, but eating helps keep you awake when you're driving really, really late at night.
Oh yeah,
Plus, listening to Cajun music, listening to Celtic music, Irish music, listening to really fast harmonica music,
John
that
Popper
helps
and the
keep me
like.
awake as well. Yeah,
Um, so salty foods, lots of it,
yeah,
and loud music trumps a
yeah.
cup of coffee every time. Gotcha. Um,
Right, because I don't drink coffee.
really? Okay.
Right, I don't drink coffee at all. I drink tea in the morning, and I really need a sponsorship for this.
Diet Mountain
So
Dew. I noticed you sipping on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
caffeine.
East Tennessee, I know that's a completely different kind of Mountain Dew out there, but
It,
I
it, it is. I've had relatives that that were involved in production, and especially
had their own
quality
brands.
control testing. Maybe I should say as well.
And also in a pinch can fuel up a 1967 General Motors vehicle most of the time. Moving on with the questionnaire. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Uh, you know, I it's kind of a toss up between C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien.
Mm,
And they were good friends and, encouraged each other and commented on their writing and everything like that. So they weren't really co-writers, but they, the Inklings was a writing group that they were in. So I understand that collaboration stuff. So I guess it really is a toss up between them. I don't know that I could, I would rather not choose a favorite between the two of them.
so
But I
noted.
think maybe a lot of my co-writing comes from an example that I learned from those novelists.
You seem a very positive person, so I'm usually surprised with the quickness that this comes out sometimes of people. But what is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. I guess I have a few. Uh,
First one that comes to your mind.
I can't think right now. Maybe I should say. Oh, okay. Because I do travel a lot.
Mm.
Really rude drivers. Those
Ah,
drivers that will tailgate you and then pass you and honk the horn and get in front of you and then immediately roll over 3 lanes and exit. It's like, why? Why? You've experienced this.
I tend to just say the following prayer. I hope that this person's in a hurry for a very good reason. So yeah,
And I hope they don't kill somebody.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Last question of the questionnaire. Usually, what is the best advice that anyone has ever given
I think perhaps the best advice is that people want to know how much you care before they care about how much you know.
We had a guest on that pretty much he's a leadership coach, and he pretty much said exactly that. And I can't tell you how many people in my life affected me just because simply they cared. So completely agree with that. And perhaps that's something that you may have taught your congregation, the people that you have been in your life, coach. So I asked this question to anybody as a bonus question to this questionnaire in honor of Lonnie Billard, my high school teacher, the Lonnie Billard Memorial Question, which goes as follows. Maybe not the best advice that you have given your students, congregations, clients, but what is the most common advice that you've given these people?
Huh. What do I tell folks all the time? Don't worry about what other people say or think about you. That's not really any of your business.
Yes.
You don't have to let their issues become your issues and drag you down. Because that kind of hurt and fear is a hungry little demon that once it grabs a hold of you, it just wants more and more and more.
To quote certain recovery literature, resentment is the number one offender, and perhaps these people are spiritually sick.
Yeah.
Not much you can do about that, and except
Right.
pray. Well, David, this is the part of the program that every guest should enjoy the most. It is time for shameless self-promotion. You've mentioned a couple of albums that might be coming out. Where can we find the current output of music, and where can we find you across this great nation and around the world? Fire away, kind sir.
Next week, I will be back in Nashville at
Oh, by the way, this episode will air on or drop rather on August 29th. So from that point further, pardon me, once again, folks, still don't do pre-production very well.
So on August 29th, I will be playing Jim Oliver's Smokehouse, and the next night, the Commodore. Next week to me, but the week before this one airs, I'll be back in Nashville at the Commodore, Millennium Maxwell House, Bobby's Idle Hour Tavern, some of those places live. You can always get my albums live. I have 6. I travel with 4 of them right now. I need to get those other 2 reprinted. And then the new ones, I
notice you don't do a lot of streaming. Most of your stuff's on streaming. Why do you not?
That streamer that starts with an S has screwed so many musicians out of being able to make a living. I don't feel right supporting them, especially their recent decision that anybody who gets less than 1,000 views or plays in a year on a song, they're not even going to pay them anymore. They've taken that $84 million that they paid 95% of the people who have music on there and given it to the next level up, people that probably don't need that so much.
Yeah.
And that's just one more instance of I don't want to be a part of that.
So mostly you're dealing with physical media. Is it CDs, vinyl?
Yeah. Or you can go to YouTube and see mini concerts, David Easterling, WDVX, Blue Plate Special concerts. Instagram has some of these videos. Facebook, just go to Facebook. I mean, there's 600 free videos that they're not all perfect. They're all live, almost all of them. We do Facebook Live, and that kind of things on some shows and all of that. And hey, if there's folks that want house concerts, I'd love for them to get in touch with me. Just David Easterling. Look me up on Facebook. That's Easterling, L-I-N-G. Look me up on Facebook, message me, contact me, and I'll try to get you and your town into a tour.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for your time and your insight into the craft, and thank you for sharing it here on the Craig Veltri Interview. The Craig Veltri Interview, where Craig Veltri interviews wonderful people, is a production of Scarfire Media, the voice of the independent arts. Written and edited by Craig Veltri. Your announcer is Megan Pennington. The opening theme, Shut Up, I Love You, written by Trenton Chandler and Craig Veltri, performed by Craig Veltri, produced by Jack Gavin. The new single, Saving Up Dreams, is available now on all streaming. Go to bonfire.com to get your hands on the Scarfire Media t-shirt and sweatshirt combo. You're going to look great in them. I got mine coming in the mail, and maybe I'll sport it on next week's episode. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll feel sexy. Time now to update the event calendar, because you must know where I am at all times. Brought to you in part by Sandpiper Entertainment. Friday, September 5th, Black Drum Brewing in Myrtle Beach, just south of North Myrtle Beach. If you go there, you'll figure out why. I'll be there from 6 to 9 p.m. Saturday, September 6th, Tin Roof Myrtle Beach from 6 to 9 p.m. Thursday, September 11th, Tin Roof Myrtle Beach from 6 to 9 p.m. I announced last week my 40th birthday weekend. Words have meaning. I will be playing at Munhall Main Street Tavern September 19th, 9 to midnight, where I'll bring in the big 4-0 at midnight. And then on September 20th proper, I will be playing at the Grumpy Beaver Pub in Bridgewater, Pennsylvania from 8 to 11 p.m. Make it to one, make it to both. I'd love to see you out there. Again, it's just another day for me, but they say it's a milestone, and I'd love it if you are listening to this program. You're obviously pretty close with me. So if you're a friend, come out and see me at one or both. For full dates, go to craig-veltri.bandzoogle.com. For booking info, including full band and this podcast, email me at craig-veltri@gmail.com. You can find the interview on Facebook by searching the Craig Veltri Interview, YouTube at Craig Veltri Music, TikTok. Well, actually, screw TikTok. I deleted it for reasons. But you can find me on Instagram, or as my old roommate, the Tommy Thomas, used to call it, Instagirl, at craig.veltri. For David Easterling, I'm Craig Veltri, and this has been the Craig Veltri Interview. With that, I'll pass. Here's David Easterling with Take Me Back to Tennessee, here on the Craig Veltri Interview, proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network. Ladies and gentlemen, David Easterling.
I was in Dallas this morning, landed in Charlotte by noon. Crazy airlines, right? Tonight I'll sleep in New Orleans under the crescent moon. Seems like I've been most everywhere, singing songs in so many towns. But there's no place quite like home. Hope this lost boy can be found. Take me back to Tennessee, where my love is waiting for me. Take me back to Tennessee. Oh, oh, beautiful Tennessee. Left my love to go sing on the road, but we talk on the phone every night as we both look up at the stars, sharing dreams in the soft moonlight. Take me back to Tennessee, where my love is waiting for me. Take me back to Tennessee, oh, beautiful Tennessee. Every road that takes me away will lead me back to you one day. And then till then I will sing my songs and pray I see you before very long. Take me back to Tennessee, where my love is waiting for me. Take me back to Tennessee, oh, beautiful Tennessee. Oh, beautiful Tennessee. Oh.